Good evening, everybody. Carol Siddle here. Coming to you tonight. Let me see, it's what, about 8 p.m. I guess, my time. House has gotten settled down. The dogs aren't barking. I am now a little nervous about this because I probably will do it different than other people. Maybe not. But I want to show you how I put a quilted cover on a ring bind journal. If this was just like a regular journal, I would turn it over, maybe do some seam binding or some ribbon on it to do the ends, and then, you know, just plop, have a soft cover quilted journal. Done a couple of those, but this is a ring binder, so this is going to be a little bit different. Make sure I got my glue here. So I'm going to use Eileen's tacky glue for this since it's fabric. And this was an old Pillsbury cookbook. I gessoed the outside because I originally thought I was going to do it different, so I didn't want that showing through. And so I gessoed it round. And then I gessoed the inside. It's going to be covered anyhow. And I didn't really care too much about the center not being covered because I really like the blue polka dots. It'd kind of go with the whole farm theme. Let's see if I've got everything. Yeah, I'm centered on this as much as I can get centered. So we'll just do the best we can here. Let me see. I have this, which is the king size pillow sham that I found. And this is going to be, of course, my cover material. And I believe I want to put this star because I like the, I don't know. I think I want this one. I know it's a little lopsided. It's just how it was sewn, but that's okay. It doesn't matter to me if the stars aren't straight. It's a junk journal. And then I got, where was I? Hobby Lobby? Pretty sure it was Hobby Lobby. And I found a quilt pack. Not a quilt pack. What do you call them? What do you call them? You know, what's got squares of different material. And these were all like quarter yard, which is perfect. And it was all farm themes. Tractors, windmills, animals. Just, I've got it put up now, so I really can't show you all of them. But how perfect is this? Was one of the blocks, and it's like a quilt, and it just so happens it uses, like on some of these, the same quilt as this. I'm like, what? So I'm going to do this the way I do it, which is First thing I do, well, let me take this off of here. First thing I do is I go in and I clean it up. I make sure that my edges, you know, there's no weird stuff hanging around the edges. Like I had some of the, when I cut it off, there was like this edgy material stuck out further. So I made sure that I have that cut and I have that cut. And then I've got clean lines all the way around. Then I'll just take it like this and I'll just do like that. So that's my center, which is right up there. So sometimes what I'll do is I'll just take a little mark and I'll just mark it because this is going to be covered up anyhow. You won't see that. Just so I got an idea, rough idea where my center is. And then I will take this, get it centered on there, and make sure you have it, you know, even on both ends, even if you have to pull it a little bit. You might be slightly off because of your curve in your in your binder, but that's okay, because what I'm looking for is that I've got enough to wrap around this way. Okay, now I got a long time ago, I do believe it was Gail that got this tool, and she talked about it, and I ordered one from this company. Oh, sorry, didn't mean to hit that. And it's the coolest little thing, and I use it all the time when I'm like doing journals, or sometimes I make like books or booklets or stuff that I want square corners on. It's called a corner miter tool. I got this probably 5 years ago, so I don't know if they still have it. Great from Mart. It's called a cartoonage, and I got this at, I don't know, can you see that? There's not much light here. There we go. www.colorwayarts.com. And it wasn't very expensive, but you can make perfect corners with this. So what you do, now I made sure I've got pretty much even, the materials even all the way around. So I'm just going to lift that up and slide this over here. What you do with this is you put it on your corner, and sometimes if it's thicker material, I give myself just a tad more room for the fold over than if it was just like this, where it was just pretty flat. And then what I do, okay, so I've got that. Okay, let me just make sure. I'm just going to fold this real quick just to make sure it's all looking okay. I pull that just a little bit more this way. Still got room on the other end. Just kind of check things out, you know, before you fold everything over. Make sure you've got enough material to bend over on both sides. And that looks pretty good. It's okay here, because I'll probably put some sort of ribbon, ruffle or something down the side. I like to do that, especially in forum journals, because it just looks so cute. So I think I am good. So I need to pull this down because I've got my glass plate under here. And I've got you guys where you can see. So what I do is I take my little tool. I love this tool. I love this tool. And I'm just going to go out here, and I'm going to do just like that. So I'm going to do that on each. When you get this, make sure you have this up, right up close. And like I said, I'm giving a little extra leeway, maybe not even quite like 1/8 of an inch. Normally I go flat right to it and draw my line, but I'm going a little farther out because this is thicker. So I gotta make sure I've got enough to bend it out. Okay, and then I'm gonna lift this, hold it real good, slide it down. Am I still in front? Yeah, still in camera frame. Okay. I'm gonna push down, you know, make sure you got it down good. So I'm gonna come out here and just do a little bit. Like I said, it doesn't matter you mark on this, because this is all gonna be turned over, or it's on the outside. You're not really gonna see that. And then a little bit down this way. Okay. Okay. Then, okay. So I've got that. See where my mark is? My center mark is right in the middle here. Now, what I'm going to do is, because I am very close, I'm going to trim some of this a little bit. I think this is pretty good. But I've got a lot up here. This is wider. This is wider. So I'm just going to come in here and trim this. You know, so that it's, I'm going to, you know, have enough room, of course, to bend it over. But I don't need it to go too far over because I'm going to have material covering it on the inside. And a good way to tell if you've got it right is when you make your mark, make it the length. See right here, I know I'm in the corner of where your line is. And that gives you the width pretty much that you need. I think I'm good there. I could probably, I'm trying to figure out how to do this without knocking my camera all crazy. Trim off. Plus I'm left-handed, which isn't helping right now. Don't want to, I can lift it up. Okay. You can kind of eyeball it and see where it needs to go. See, it was one side was kind of sticking out a little further. This looks, see, that can even come off a little bit. I don't know, I'm probably outside of, all I'm doing is trimming the side over here. And just keep an eyeball where your mark is at the end of your corner piece. Because when I initially cut this, I probably just guessed, so I didn't cut it perfectly perfect. Okay. And then I'm going to, okay, I don't want that ink over there. Last thing I want to do is get brown ink on my cover. Okay, and I'm just going to come up and trim this piece a little bit. Because, you know, it adds a lot of, it's got enough thickness already on it because of the quilting. So, just try and get it, do the best you can. You're going to turn this in and you're going to have it covered anyhow. So if it's not perfectly even, don't worry about it. Okay, so see all that I got cut off of there? And what I can do with this is tear that off, tear the stuffing part off, and I got a great piece of little just tearing off the batting pulls right out. That I don't need. I think I got, it's really not much there. But I got a couple pieces of little trim pieces for cards or whatever. Use what you got. Okay, so I'm going to spin this back around. Make sure I'm still right side up. A good way you can tell if you're right side up is if you covered that, you can see that the printing is in the right place. I'm still on center. Still on center. Okay. Now. Okay. Now some people will pull off the batting here and just turn this over to keep it thin. But I've never really tried that. Am I still where you can see me? Yeah, okay. Just to you know, just have the, so the batting's on the top, because it would make it lay flatter in here. And probably wouldn't be a bad idea. But I just want to make sure I don't cut off any of the batting from the front cover. So Because when you turn it over, you want to make sure that you still got your quilting. See, if I was to cut that and cut it like even, when I pull that around, you know, you just want to make sure you don't mess with your quilt. But it is sewn here, so this is kind of where you kind of got to watch what you're, really pay attention to what you're doing. Make sure your corners are good. This is probably, I just don't know. I'm really not comfortable pulling all that off. I usually don't. I might try it on one where I'm not filming because I don't want these points, you know, or I don't want to lose my edging here. So now what I do is I'm going to cut my corners just as if this was a paper. I really need to stand up to do this. So you're still going to cut your corners because you still got to, you know, turn this in and make sure. So I'm just cutting my corners. Okay, keep your area clean, keep things out of your way so you don't end up with something in the middle of your book, your journal you didn't want there. And then kind of eyeball that your corners are good, you know, about the same distance apart. Okay. And then, okay. Now, I'm going to put, oh, wait a minute, forgot one part here. Let me pull this up a little bit. Get some of this stuff out of my way. This, when I pull this up, I can only put it right here. Okay, so I want to trim this. Let's see here. I can put it up there, but you can't. So I kind of want to do like a little. It's not going to come up very far, about to there. So what I'll do is I'll come over here and I'll trim that. Hope you can see this. I'll just trim this like a little piece out so that when I fold this up, this, I'll be able to take a tool and tuck that under, because you want that, you know, you don't want all this material flopping over your top there. Okay, does that make sense? Is everybody with me so far? I might be going a little fast, but I'm trying not to, but I don't think you guys want a 2-hour video either. I'm only 18 minutes in, so I'm doing pretty good. Okay, so I will just start initially with, I like to do the long ends first. That's how I've always done my books. So I'm just gonna, and you can go back in and add, but you just want to get your edges first, okay? You just want to make sure you get your edges first. And it's okay if you go down a little bit, okay? It's okay. Whoops. You just want to get your edges first. Okay. Just want to get in, and I do the edges too. I try to get down on there and get the edges. Okay, so now I'm going to push this down and I'm going to fold it from the middle first. Fold it from the middle. Fold it from the middle. Do not let it pull away. And we'll get to the corners in a minute, okay? We'll get to the corners in a minute. All right. I'll show you how to tuck that in. right now, we just want to get this part. Okay. And we'll come back and we'll add some more. We'll add more to that. Okay, so do center and work your way in to the middle. Because if you don't, you can end up with, you lost your center, basically. Okay? It could end up over here. So you've got to, plus you want your corners to come out right. So just kind of work it, work it, work it. Pull it up. Now make sure you don't got a big weird spot there. Just tuck, you can tuck that down in there. And what I use for my tuck, to tuck stuff down in, I don't know why I didn't take this out to begin with. Where are you? That's my square one, but I don't want my square. Here we go. I have a tool, it's like this. It's like a heart shape. And I will use it to push my material in underneath there. Okay, does that make sense? And I will do the same there. And you can put, you know, glue on the end of it, because this, all this inner part is going to be covered up. Okay, so I feel pretty good about that. And oh, sorry, this glue doesn't take too long to grab hold. Keep stuff out of your way though, that's important. Keep stuff out of your way. Okay, I'm gonna hold that. Okay, it's okay like that. Helps keep it flat actually. Okay, so we're doing good. Okay, so now I'm going to go, and I always put a little bit extra in the corner, and the corners. And we're just gonna get this all down, a little bit extra in the corner. Oh, meant to do the other long side first. You know what? This takes a little bit of time to dry, so I got time to do this. And this is where you kind of want to push it down a little bit, you know. Kind of make sure your center mark is where it needs to be. Okay, so I'm gonna glue this down. Glue, glue, glue. Glue, glue, glue. Okay, so I need to make my little cut. And you got to do this individually because they're not the same height every time, because you know each one of your sides might be a little different than the other. So, and then you're just gonna snip that off. Okay, so I'm gonna pull this up, pull this up, pull this up. You can always snip that off a little bit too. Like see, I've got it, it's long, it must have been longer on this side. So I'm just gonna go back in here, snip that. Oh, I actually did have it snipped right the first time. And you can add more glue. Sometimes you just have to play with it a little bit. I might need to get my other bottle out. Glue's not gonna hurt anything. Okay, so there. You can hold it. You can hold it for a minute. Let the glue get in there nice and good. And I'll show you why in a minute, why I don't put the glue all the way up here. Like why I didn't make it as wide as the thing is. Okay. You can hold it for a second. Hold it, just kind of move it up. Make sure you got it all in there. Okay. And getting this piece in helps keep it in place while you're doing all this too. So I tend to go in and get this piece because it will go under there. I haven't had one yet where it wouldn't go under, and I can clean that up later. So I'm not too worried about that right now. Oh, my dry's definitely still wet. Okay, so now I'm gonna come back in here. I'm gonna do glue, 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 glue. Glue, 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 glue. It's okay. It's okay to get a lot of glue on there. And I'm gonna pull up. And you can kind of grab it here and pull it up. Because you don't want to end up with it loose on the outside. Okay, so I'm gonna hold that in place for a little minute. Pull it up here. Oh, I've got stuff sticking to my fingers. Yeah, I don't want that in there. Trash can. Okay, so I'll pull that up. Okay. Okay. Yep, it's gonna bend fine. Okay, now I've got this one in the center, and you do just like as if you're doing corners on any other book. Okay, I like to get my pokey tool out to help me with this part, because you want this to kind of come in like that. Okay, you want it to kind of, so you're going to have a tight corner. That's why I always put glue in the corners, because it helps hold that piece down. Okay, so you're going to tuck that in and then bring that over. And you might get messy, but that's okay. So you want to tuck it in. You want to get that in there and then pull this piece down. And that will give you, hold on, I'm kind of down here on the bottom, but that gives you a good corner. Okay, so I need to do that. If you get too gluey, grab you something, otherwise your hands start sticking to all this. Okay, so I've got that one down, because you want to have good tight corners when you do this. And then you're going to pull up, and then this one, you're going, since you did a corner here, you're going to want to put glue here, because you really want lots of glue, because you want that to hold, because that's your angle. So I put my tool down in there, and then I just pull. I pulled it up. Like I said, I don't care what this looks like right now, because the glue will dry and this is all going to be covered, but I want my corners to be good. Good corners. Good corners. And let me tell you, it took me a long time to be able to get good corners right. Lots of practice. Okay, so you've got your, it's okay if there's glue there. Matter of fact, that helps. So you can pull that up, hold it down. It's okay, that's what baby wipes are for. And get your corner glued on. Okay, so you've got that. Those nice tight corners, yes. Turn it around. Okay, now we're going to do the other corners. So we're going to put, I might be able to get what I need out of this one. Glue, lots of glue. Don't be afraid of the glue, because it's all, like I said, it's going to be hidden anyhow. I like to make sure it's on the edges, so I just kind of always do a line down here. You know, get this all gluey, because this is all going to dry clear anyhow. It's not like you're going to see it, right? Right. Okay. So pull up from the center. Okay, so we're going to tuck your corner in, pull this up, use your pokey tool, use that tool, that's what it was designed for. And I just take glue that squirts out and I just rub it down in there. Okay, so now I'm going to do this one. Like I said, I'm left-handed, so it just depends on how you do it. And then you just want to get that corner in there and then fold it up really good and let the glue do the work. And then pull it up. Whew. Lots of glue. Okay. Lots of glue, and I always push the corners down really good. Smush them down. Tighten it up here. Let it come around. Tighten it up. Clean my tool before it gets too dry. Okay, now I'm going to come around here. Oh. I'm going to put a little glue here. Because I'm going to push that under there. I'm going to get that to hold. You know, when you do these journals, you want to have a good finished product, either for yourself or for your customer. You know, it's important. So I'm going to take this, and I like the point because I can kind of really get it in there. And I don't care if the glue gets in there because you're not going to see it anyhow, because that'll dry. And then when I put the other material on, it's going to tuck underneath all the way down. So it's okay. So I just go around, make sure my corners are sticking really good. If they're not, I just stick more glue. Stick more glue on there. Kind of makes a seal. You know, you can't have too much glue on your corners. Okay? Never have too much on your corners. You always have to switch things around. This needs to get way over there. Okay. Okay, like see here, it's sticking up a little bit, so I'm just gonna come in. I'm gonna make sure to get that corner glued down real good. Okay, I'm gonna do this area. So I'm gonna grab that, and it's okay if it smushes the glue because that's gonna go underneath there. I think that these came with my Cricut when I bought it, but you can buy Cricut tools separate. They're great little tools. They're very sturdy, and I use them for so many things. I'll use them to spread out gesso, to do things like this. So, and then there's a flat blade one too, but for this, I really like the pointy one because it's easier to push. Now I'll probably use, especially in a tight corner like this. I may use the flat blade one when I get to here, but I really do like my pointy one because I want to make sure, because I can kind of really push better. You want to get that under there. Keep checking your corners, make sure they're nice and flat. Yeah, this one's popping up. You just want your corners to be nice. So, and it's okay. Like I said, this is all going to dry clear anyhow. So it's okay. Kind of like, just kind of rub it around, get it down there real good. Might take a couple times going around just to make sure everything's down. Even if you have to, just kind of rub it like that. Just rub it in there. Make sure it gets sealed nice and good. Okay. Now I may have to come back and, what we got here? At 37 minutes, and I may have to do the other part tomorrow where I put the material on, because I do like this to dry, because there's a lot of glue on here. I do like it to dry overnight before I come back, because what I'll do is I'll come back in here and maybe do a little bit of trimming, but not much, because when I put this on, let's do a little, it's not really dry yet, but don't want to get, when I do this, I'm going to drop it down a little bit from the edge, and what I literally will do is I will make a seam. This would be pretty easy to do because I like the finished look. I will make a little seam and come in here, and I will glue this on each side. But I want to make sure that this part isn't going to move. So I will trim it a little bit, but I will leave probably, what, 1/4 of an inch to where the top of my thing will go. So it looks very much like a professional book when it's done. And this way, if something comes loose, you know, if it's not sticking, you can re-glue it the next day. Okay. This part gets me excited when I love making my cover, because when I get my cover done, it's like, now I'm ready. I actually did go ahead and decorate a page today because I couldn't wait. I'll show you. I did a pig page. This little pig. I got the cutest paper. Okay, and I always keep a page out of the. Where is it? Got it somewhere. I keep a page so I know where to punch the holes. A page out of the, hold on, I'm grabbing one here. Out of the actual, because this was a cookbook, and I go through and I hand punch every page. It's how Diane does hers, and it's how she taught me. So, through her videos. That's where I learned from, was Diane Shaw. And so I know that they're all going to work right. But I did this page. gonna stand up so see if you can see it. And is this not the cutest little pig face in the whole freaking world? Look at that little pig face. Oh my gosh. And I put a little bow on the pig. A little sari silk bow and a little bit of glitter in the eyes. So she sits there, a little sunflower there. And then it was wide, so I flipped it over. Made that little flip. And then have the stuff here. So I had fun with the pig. I just love that face. Oh my God, this makes me smile. Okay, so that is, dragging stuff along with me. Like I said, you're gonna probably wanna check it a couple times, but there's the beginning of my cover. There it is. There it is, people, the beginnings. I'll have something here. I'll probably put something maybe right down this part. These weren't exactly spaced evenly, so it was hard to, but this one came out pretty good. Right in the middle on the back, but, and then little points that, I think I had enough left of some of the material that I might sew it in different sections. But, and see how good your corners come out? Take your time on your corners. Oh, they're starting to stick together. I gotta let this dry. Because it really makes a difference on how it looks. And, you know, it's professional. I wouldn't call myself a professional. I would never do that. To me, people that are professionals are like, you know, like Gail and Diane and Miss Allen and people like that. So anyhow, that's the start of my journal. I'm going to let this dry overnight. I'm not going to try to rush it because I want to make sure it's going to last. So anyhow, that's the beginning. We'll do another video tomorrow and do the inside pieces. And then, because I still haven't quite figured out what the rest of my cover is going to be like. But I'll figure that out. I always do. So I hope y'all have a great night. This is going to be probably several videos. I've never done a whole journal like this. It's from, usually I do them and then do a flip through, but I just kind of like wanted to be brave and step out there and show y'all how I do it. Everybody's got their style, so that's mine. I hope y'all have a blessed evening, and thanks for stopping by. If you enjoyed this, and if it was good, that you liked it, God, I cannot talk tonight. Just like and subscribe, please. It helps me out. And feel free to leave a comment if you want. And I'll see you tomorrow. Night.